I'm here in Medjugorje. Behind us is Apparition Hill, and I'm with, what's your name?
Arlene.
Where are you from?
I am from West Virginia.
And first time here? Or?
First time in
Wow,
Medjugorje.
and how is it for you to be here?
It's been wonderful.
Why?
It's really hard to explain. It's so peaceful, going to adoration, going to mass. It's hard to describe.
Mm-hmm. People have to experience it, no?
No, they definitely have to experience, yes.
And you, where are you from?
West Virginia.
West Virginia, as well. The husband, Ed, no?
Yes, husband Ed.
And first time for you as well?
First
yeah?
time as well.
And your impression to be here? How is it now?
It is very peaceful,
Yeah.
but I'm finding out that it's not so much about the visionaries
Yeah.
as much of their message.
Yeah.
Because they saw Mary, but we all don't see Mary directly, but we have to understand their message of peace, of confession, of prayer, of fasting, and of Eucharist.
Yeah.
And we have to understand their message rather than worry so much about exactly what they saw, how they saw it.
Or what happens here.
Or what happened on the hill.
Yeah.
That's all very nice, but
Yeah.
much more important is the message that they present to us.
Yeah.
And the other thing you recognize is that the visionaries are only ordinary people. They are just regular folks, but they are all family people now.
Yeah.
And that is the other message of Medjugorje, which is family is so important. It is still important to the visionaries,
Yes.
and it should be important to us. And in America, I'm afraid we're losing sight of family.
See, but it's like Saint Lucia from Fatima. She said one of the visionaries, the end fight is for the family. So we all have to pray. Like this guy is praying for family. I don't know. One of the seers is praying for the family. You know? And you're married. How long have you been married, you two?
It'll be 47 years.
And can you give an advice? Like, a lot of people look for vocation here in Medjugorje. How can you find the right partner, and how can you make a marriage keep running and like a Volkswagen?
Only with the Lord. I mean, we were married in the church, and I can say we're married today because God has kept us together. You have hard times, financially, relationship-wise, with children, and yet God can keep you together. But you got to pray, and you got to be together, and go to mass together, and go to mass as a family.
Yeah.
God will keep you together.
And for you, Ed?
You have to sacrifice as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
If you go into marriage thinking you're going to get everything you want, you're wrong. And the other thing is we have to grow together. And most people think, okay, I'm going to grow, and I may grow in a different direction. No, you have to work hard to grow together. It's not as simple as saying grow together. It takes.
But maybe I would say, isn't it like, first of all, like my brother said, I do a sacrifice out of love. Because it sounds always like you have to do sacrifice. Nobody wants to do sacrifice. Like,
Right.
oh my God, I have to do something I don't like. But if you love the person, you do a sacrifice, no? You say, I want
Absolutely.
to stay with them. I think we have to put the emphasis on love there, And also I think it's divine will, It's like,
Oh, yeah.
a friend of mine today said, there's a group, I have to be with the group. I want to have lunch with her. But it's divine will that she has to be with the lunch. And I have to look, I think that's very important for couples as well to understand, no?
You made a commitment, you have to stay with the commitment, right?
Yeah.
We're 47 years, and it's more beautiful today than it was
Yeah.
on
Oh.
day
You
one.
know each other more.
Yeah,
no?
yeah.
Much better today. Much better.
I mean, he's my best friend. If you had said that like 10, 15 years ago, I would
I
go,
am?
really? Really?
Really, this guy.
Yeah, this guy? Yeah,
No hairs.
yeah.
Not like Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
That was gone early.
Mine too. Don't
But
worry.
he's handsome, very
He's
handsome.
handsome. He's a
Very
lovely
handsome.
guy.
Yeah,
You are
yeah.
really nice.
I-
Gentle, nice guy.
I was listening to a lecture on Genesis. Jordan Peterson, I
Yeah.
put in a plug, and he talked about sacrifice. And he says, when Abraham would go out and grab a sheep and lamb, cut its throat, drain its blood, put it on a fire, he goes, that's pretty dramatic. Something is happening here with the sacrifice. We don't understand the message of sacrifice
Properly. It's out of love. for
out of
God.
love, and so they were taking a lamb from their flock, which was a valuable animal to them, and they were giving it up to a higher being,
To God.
to
Yeah,
God.
yeah, right.
And you think, how did they develop that sense to do that? Well, we
Because
have
they had a living relationship. I
With
guess.
that,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
It was a lot like Chesterton that our faith must be not like theoretic. It must be a love affair.
It
Yeah.
has
It's not
to
a
be.
love affair if you haven't encountered the living God.
You
Yeah.
have to be.
What would you do? We say, no, it's better go watch football.
Yeah. Or go out and have a glass of wine.
Exactly. It's more exciting.
No, it's not more
It's not
exciting.
more exciting. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So we are here. We have a friend that we came with as well, but we are next week going to El Camino in Spain.
Wow.
So we were just practicing or
Yeah,
walking for
that's
the
good.
Camino.
The mountains. That was a good boot camp.
But it's only a
boot camp.
one week in the Camino.
Yeah.
So we were going from here to Spain.
Wonderful. Wow. And how long are you going? You do the whole Camino?
No,
Just
no,
75.
just the last 110 kilometers.
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful.
So
And what would you tell people? What is so special about Medjugorje? Why should they come here one time?
Wow, that's a very hard question. I mean, if you love Mary, you got to be here. I
And if you
mean,
love ice cream, by the way.
yeah.
I'm done.
Yep, you're done. That's Medjugorje too. Nice food. No?
Well,
Yeah.
we have been to Fatima and Lourdes last year.
Yeah.
And actually, many years ago, we were in Guadalupe and Mexico City. So we have done the key Marian shrines.
Wow, amazing. And
Yeah.
the differences, are there differences in the shrines?
Oh,
Very
absolutely.
different. They're not. You can't compare them.
Absolutely.
What is the difference? Okay.
Oh, in Mexico,
beauty?
At Mexico City, you have a nice cathedral where the cloak of the Juan Diego is
the tilma.
Tilma. You can see. You go to Fatima. They have a beautiful outdoor area where you can see where Mary appeared. In Lourdes, we have a nice grotto. We can say Mass outside the grotto, walk down. Here you have to walk on a hill to see where Mary appeared. There's no basilica. It's very simple and beautiful. And I think it will stay that way.
Yeah.
But the beauty of all four places is two things. So obviously the peace and the fact that Mary was there. But it's the beauty of the Catholic Church. I mean, when you're in Lourdes and everybody is processing and everybody is saying the rosary in their own language, but you all know exactly what they're saying. We are one holy Catholic and apostolic church.
And truly inclusive, no?
And truly inclusive.
Well, last night at Adoration, outside in
Yeah.
a little bit of rain.
Yes.
But there's 6,000 or 7,000 people, different languages, all focused on one thing. And it's amazing.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter whether you're in Mexico City or you're in Spain or you're in Portugal or you're in France or here. The power of the church is so evident. And
Yeah.
Jesus knew what he was doing, setting up his holy
You
one.
pray the rosary, no?
Yes.
Both together?
Yeah. Well,
Church, because we go to morning mass.
on our daily Mass, we have rosary before Mass
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
And does it make you also more gentle, more calm, more peaceful, the rosary prayer?
I hope so.
What is the effect for you?
It's strange because it allows you to calm down, relax, and even though sometimes it's amazing that I can have a thought going on, but I'm still saying the prayer.
Yes, me too.
And a different thought. My mind be over here, but I'm still saying the prayers, and it allows me to just spend time gathering my thoughts about life.
Yes.
So-
We have a priest in Germany said in a little town, he said, we have the most beautiful meditation. People look for meditation. They go for yoga, for everything. Try the rosary. Better effect long term.
Exactly.
Well, and then you think that Mary says pray.
Yeah.
Well, what do you pray? Well, how about the rosary? Very simple thing to do.
Yeah. Our faith is simple, childlike simple. Be like the little children.
Be
Right.
like the little children.
Yeah. And for you, the rosary prayer?
Oh, I've been saying it for a long time, and so now we say it at church. It's very, very good for me.
Are you lead in the church?
No, I'll be very candid. I'm a convert.
Yeah. You're
So-
going to attend that. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So, and the rosary is very hard for a
Can
convert
imagine.
to,
Oh my
because
God,
it's
Our Lady the Goddess. Oh,
well,
devil worshippers,
those
they are.
the two things were, and saying the rosary to me looked like just rote prayer, but then the more you say it, the longer you say it, the more you realize Mary takes everything you say and asks for to her son Jesus, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
But it took a long time.
Can you tell a bit about the conversion process? Can you tell now a bit about Mary and
Well, I married a
you-
Catholic.
You married a Catholic. There he is.
There he is. There.
So you could add- we got one.
Although she is teaching me more about the Catholic faith, even though
That's
I
how
went
women are,
went
I
to
tell
no
you.
when I went to Catholic school, but it's amazing you don't
Appreciate it.
appreciate
Yes.
so much. And for example, and
Yes.
I'll put another plug for people.
Yeah. Say it.
Bible in a Year from Father Mike Schmidt.
And
Yeah.
catechism.
We did that for 2 years.
Yeah.
Bible every day reading, and with Father Mike's commentary, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
This year he started Catechism in a Year.
Yeah.
And again, it's a wonderful podcast that is going through the Catechism, and it's teaching me so much about the faith. It's unbelievable.
Wow, beautiful.
It's beautiful faith.
I would like to add also, look, it's written in the Bible. What is written on the first page? I think it's even like in Genesis. I make you a helper.
Yeah.
You have to get back how the roles are.
Absolutely.
The feminists are distorting everything because we are Catholics are the most feminist. We have a helper. We listen to
Yes.
to the women because they have a different sense. They see differently.
Well, coming down the mountain, because part of my story is that I had a stroke and I had to learn to walk, and so coming here was just saying thank you that I'm able to walk. But coming down, I said I'm just going to follow in your footsteps, right? And that's what we should do, is especially in a husband and wife, is follow in his footsteps. That doesn't mean you don't have an opinion, but when you finally decide what you're going to do, follow in the footsteps.
That
And
means in the divine will sense.
Yeah.
Ask the Holy
right,
Spirit
start
to
with
come.
Jesus. Yeah.
Start with Jesus, and the Holy Spirit will reveal
Right.
through inspirations, through encounters with people. No.
Yeah.
And so your conversion process, how did that happen? Why did you
Well,
convert?
it's a long story, but I was married in the Catholic Church, but not Catholic. The pastor let me, for my marriage, only receive communion, no more. So 5 more years. We had 3 kids, and I decided that if we were going to raise our kids in the faith, we had to pick one faith. And I decided he wasn't going to leave Catholicism.
Very good at.
Yeah, exactly.
Find.
And so
Find.
I would say for the next 5 or 10 years, I was like, well, eventually the Catholic Church will come around in my thinking. And then finally, probably about 20 years ago, God intervened and just said, you need to truly be a Catholic 100%.
You
Give
felt
all.
it in the heart.
Yeah, I felt it in the heart. And that would say I was my true conversion into Catholicism. Then I fell in love with the Catholic Church. There's not one thing I disagree with.
Can you say something? You see, it's a love affair. What is so beautiful about the Catholic Church?
To me, there's 4 things. First of all, the magisterium, that there is a force of authority. Because if not, then everybody is the Pope. And
That's what somebody said. No, the Protestant didn't leave the Pope. Everybody
Right.
became its
Own
own
Pope,
Because
exactly.
you have like 33,000
Wasn't it-
denominations. If it's scriptural, logical, people think
Yeah.
if it's one scriptural book, it can't be 33,000 different denominations.
So
Just
that-
1 + 1 is 2.
That the Eucharist was always for me the heart and soul. I don't know how people turn away once they're Catholic. I don't know how they walk away from the Eucharist. And
Yes.
I don't
can't. Me
know
neither.
that.
You touch me,
I can't. So it's the Eucharist. It's the one. The fact that we have a magisterium.
Yeah.
I fell in love with Mary. It took a long time.
I can understand that. On this YouTube channel. Devil worshippers. You're worshipping statues.
Yeah. Yeah. So and there was a 4th one. Well, those
But
3 of them.
you explain them, you know.
Yeah.
We are not worshipping statues.
No,
Tell
oh,
us to
no.
concentrate.
No.
We are
Right.
not stupid people, you know.
Oh, the other one I love because I have traveled the world. No matter where I go, I don't care what language, I know what they're saying in the Mass. It is one. Yeah,
That
so.
is the magic of Fatima and Lourdes, where you're saying the Rosary
Yeah.
and all the languages around you, but you're in your language.
And there's no other Christian church that can do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the healing of the Tower of Babel. All the languages.
Exactly.
It comes right
Yes.
now to my mind. like
Yeah,
this, no?
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what Our Lady does with simple prayer, you know.
yeah.
Catholic faith is very simple.
Yeah. But when you're in Hong Kong or you're in Shanghai, China, and they're doing the Mass in their language, but you know they're speaking, you know where they are in the Mass. It's just beautiful. It's
Beyond
beyond
description.
description, yeah.
And so can you say like what Jesus did for you in life? How did he change you?
Well, see, I'm an odd person. I've always known, I was baptized at 4 years old, and I've always known that Jesus held me close. So I've never had that big, like I wasn't Christian and now I am. But I have had the where God has just drawn me closer and closer to him. That he's, you know.
Hugging you more, you know?
Yeah,
The
I mean,
love,
yeah.
to his
Well, like
heart.
when I had my stroke, I mean, I'm laying on the ground and I'm parallel.
Wow,
And the peace and the joy. My friend came in and she says, "What's wrong?" I said, "I'm having a stroke. Call Ed, tell him to go to the hospital, call 911. And she said, "How were you so peaceful?" I said, "Because God was holding me in his hands." And I was having a brain bleed, and I knew if I stood up and moved. I didn't know at the time, but if I had, I would have died. So God was just holding me in his hand that whole
To
time.
show you something as
Yeah,
well. No?
he's just,
But he's
no,
there.
and I can't describe that peace, but it was just, I felt today at Mass, that total, I've got you, I'm holding you. And no matter what happened, you knew if I died that moment, it would have been okay.
Well, and for you, the love affair. Is it a love affair, Ed? I think
Oh,
so
yeah.
too.
I shouldn't make the joke I always tell.
Is he allowed?
No, I should not. No, no, it was watching her recover from the stroke was a very interesting experience to watch her day by day get a
The
little
language better, yeah.
language,
A
everything.
friend of mine had the same. It's amazing. He was a high politician in Germany. He was talking in front of the parliament.
Oh, yeah?
And suddenly he said, like, this is a thing with 4 wheels. And it's
Yeah.
a car. Yeah, yes, could be a car.
Yeah.
And he's all coming back to give hope. It comes back.
does.
Trust.
Oh,
No?
but one day at a time. We just took it. One day, the first day after she moved her hand a little bit, and that was it for that day. And then, the next day said a few words. So it was wonderful watching her come back from the stroke. But, the notion from Jesus is that, I tend to say, "Help me, help me, help me." He's been there, ready to help me whenever I want. He can help me, but I have to do it. I have to do it myself with his help.
Yeah.
And listen to his inspirations, what he wants
Right,
from you. No?
but when people pray, "Help me, Jesus," okay, right. But He's always been there, ready to rock and roll. You have to say, "Okay, now with your help, I'm going to go in this direction and do what your will is." So
I think it's to listen to the Holy Spirit, because He guides, He gives you an inspiration. Okay, do this now, do that now. Often we are fearful and we're blocking it off. No?
But Medjugorje is a peaceful place. It's it's prayerful. It's understated, I guess is the way. It's just I don't want to say
simple, no?
I don't want to say simple in the fact that it, but it is beautifully simple.
Humble.
It's humble. There's no stoplights in the town. There's no stop. It's a small little community, but it's amazing how many people come here and are like to be here.
You hear Spanish right now here?
Yeah.
And English? Irish?
Oh, well, last night at confession, the one priest had 4 languages listed on outside confession. Any language. You can go to confession in any language here.
Beautiful.
Absolutely amazing.
And so you like confession as well, both of you?
No.
No.
No, I love confession, but it is always, for me, being a convert, it's hard to get prepared and ready for confession. Once I get in there and do it, it's wonderful, but it would not, it's always, which is good, it's always a struggle to sit there and take the time to prepare.
And
what would you tell people who are scared to go confession?
Go.
What is the beauty of confession? And
Peace.
mercy.
Mercy.
Yeah.
Well, because I will be honest, the last night was the first time in many years I've been to confession.
Yeah.
And they say, go to confession in Medjugorje.
Wow.
Because that was one of the messages
From Our Lady.
from Our Lady.
Yeah.
Confession. And prayer, fasting, Eucharist, but confession was very big, and our guide says everybody should go to confession in Medjugorje. And one of our fellow pilgrims, he has been here before. He is 87. You talked to Ed. But he said, I said, what brings you back? He goes, I want to go to confession again here.
Yeah.
I'm going, wow. Okay, so you must go to confession in Medjugorje.
And how was the experience?
Good. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
What would you tell people who are scared? With 20 years I didn't go, sugar, what will the priest think of me? And
Well, at some
touch
point
me?
you need to go again.
Yes.
Because again, the Catechism here is talking about the sacraments, and that is one of our wonderful sacraments. And the sacraments give us grace that another person can't give us. It's
Or the absolution. I mean, to know that yesterday at 6 o'clock, if I dropped dead, I was fully forgiven, right?
oh,
That's it.
My soul was clean.
Yes.
You can't do that with anything else. It's
You
beautiful.
feel free and peaceful,
Oh,
happy,
peaceful,
joyful?
yeah, joyful.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Oh no, my one story being a convert, I went when I converted and I hadn't been for a long time, and I went in, and I went to the priest. It was a communal penance service. Went to the priest, and he absolved me, and I sobbed for 20 minutes. Just literally sobbing. I was so joyful, so peaceful. People probably thought I committed axe murders because
Did you?
yeah, well, we can't tell. And because I'm just in the pew, just not sobbing out of sadness, just that peace and joy that comes from the relief of knowing that God has shown you mercy. There's nothing like it.
To feel that mercy.
Yeah. Oh no,
the
and
depth
that.
of the heart.
Oh. I mean, I can't describe it. I mean, I'm not a crier, and I was just sobbing.
Yeah, especially in Medjugorje.
Yeah,
So
sobbing.
Oh,
joy of peace.
so
of
many
relief,
beautiful stories here.
Yes.
And well, the other thing that strikes me is so many little miracles. Every time I think we turn around, there's another miracle. The story of the two rosaries in the wagon. What an amazing story! You know,
I believe it.
I believe it.
Oh, I do too.
And there's no question. And there's other miracles that have occurred.
Because we believe in the supernatural faith.
Oh yes.
Well, I'm a kind of simple person, but I believe the power of the Holy Spirit's in us. So there's miracles that happen every hour, every second of every day that we don't even like. Like today, I walked.
Open up
Right.
our heart, no?
Yeah. Today I left my phone. I couldn't find it anywhere. It was there in the chair because this guy helped me find it, but. He was prompted by the Holy Spirit to help me, right? It happens all the time.
Me too. I lost the phone in the sanctuary. And
Yeah.
a friend of mine who works at the confessional, he said, "Look, there's somebody who's following you.
Yeah.
It must be nice followers. He has all your photos of you." And then he made a photo of the mobile phone. It was mine.
Oh,
Well, here's another
that is
part of
good.
Medjugorje, the risen Jesus statue.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a talk out the other day outside, sitting around there. For 1 hour, I said, you know, we've been sitting here for 1 hour witnessing a miracle continually as the water comes off the knee of Jesus. And you're going, most of the time we think of a miracle happening in a second and then something is different. But here, it's continuous as we sat there for over an hour, I'm watching people wipe and touch the water, and you're going, that's a miracle that is continuing to happen. It's an unbelievable miracle. One of the ones that we might not know about from here. But to be able to sit there and watch a miracle for over an hour, I'm thinking that's pretty neat. You don't get to see that every day.
And everything peaceful in a
Yes.
peaceful atmosphere, no?
Oh yes.
Like a slow, peaceful, gentle atmosphere.
Yeah.
I think people, if you look for peace, come to Medjugorje.
Oh yeah.
The Queen of Peace, actually.
Yeah, the Queen of Peace. Yeah.
well, I mean, this is one of the few sites, and the only major site where Mary is still appearing. So,
Yes.
if you want to, Mary is the Queen of Peace.
That's a lady said from Spain. There's Real Madrid, a big soccer team
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Europe. They say, look, you love to see the stadium of Real
Yeah.
Madrid, but it's even better when it's live.
Yeah.
When there's this,
Exactly.
the game is going on.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
game is going on in Medjugorje.
Yeah,
you
it
can
is.
feel it
Yes.
as well, no?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And the people and the town, yes.
It's just an amazing place to be.
Yeah. And what would you tell at the end? Come to Medjugorje? Or
Oh,
what is,
yeah.
And I'm
Bring friends.
Yeah,
Friends?
Bring friends, yeah.
And I've met many people, some friends we have at home that say, I would love to go back. And I'm thinking,
Now I know why.
You're looking already for the
I'm thinking, I might be able to come back.
Go to skyscanner.com.
But yeah, it might be nice to come back. Because it's someplace if you're in Spain, you might go, or in France, you might go down to Lourdes. Okay, maybe we go to Paris too, or we go, in Portugal you can go to Fatima. But this you have to want to come to here. It's not so easy to come to, but you have to want to, and it's just a wonderful place. It's unbelievably peaceful.
Yeah, and scan the sky, meaning pray to God and scan
Pray.
the sky.
Yeah,
And God say,
exactly,
God,
yeah.
look, I want to come back.
Yeah.
And it's not about money. Many people tell me somehow
Oh.
they had the desire and things happened.
Right,
and they
yeah.
came.
Oh,
And
okay.
for you, Medjugorje, what would you tell the people?
Well, definitely come. I mean, and if you have to sacrifice to come. But come as a pilgrim, not a tourist.
Yes.
Really come to spend time with your faith, with Mary, with Jesus, to just, it is a peaceful, reflective time. Don't come just to check the box to say you're coming
Yeah.
to Medjugorje.
Open the heart, basically.
Open the
Oh yes.
You have favorite saint, by the way? It's a new question to ask.
Oh.
I guess I asked, what could I ask? Like,
I have three.
Okay, go ahead. I have
Saint Teresa lives there, Saint Teresa of Avila, and Saint Catherine of Siena, which is really weird because Catherine wasn't educated, and I'm all head. She's all heart.
Yeah.
But those are.
She's inspiring, no?
Well, she goes to the Pope and tells him what to do, and she's not educated. And she's a woman in the 1200s. Yeah, I mean.
That's why a misconception of our Catholic Church that women are have play no role. Look at Mary. Look
Mary,
at
the saints.
Look
Yeah.
at the saints.
Oh.
You know,
Yeah.
study the saints and you
Yeah.
understand the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
For you?
I don't have a favorite now.
Doesn't
But
matter.
maybe
And
I'll,
he's going to work on it.
I'm working on it. Because
about it,
because I'm hearing people go, they have their favorite saints and they focus on them. And really, one of the things about the Catholic Church is we have the saints. And if you want to learn more, study the saints.
Yeah.
And so I'm doing an awful lot of. I'm retired and I'm blessed to be able to spend time studying and studying the Bible, studying the Catechism, and then just picking different subjects to do a little deeper dive.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And then the church fathers as well, 36 I think there are in total, no?
Yeah.
And there are women in that church, mothers there.
Well, I think there's 64 church fathers, 4 women.
36, because I studied there, not so many.
Right.
really?
Really not so many over the centuries.
Oh yeah.
And there-
Well, it's
there are
it's a
there
small
is
number.
The Lisieux, I think, is in that.
4. We have
Yeah.
4 women. St.
Yeah.
Teresa of Avila,
Yeah.
Siena, Hildegard of
From being a
Yeah.
German.
Yeah. So my 3 plus Hildegard. Those are the
Beautiful.
doctors,
Beautiful.
the female.
And what can I say? It's a pleasure doing this interview.
No,
with
thank you.
Oh,
You
thank you.
prayed the Divine Mercy Rosary as well? Chapel?
Today, we went to
Today.
the chapel.
The Diamond versus
We went to
Chapel.
the chapel.
Yeah.
Why you prayed that one?
Well, that's for me new just in the last couple years because I love JP2, and then I don't know how I actually got started doing it. It's simpler than like saying a rosary, so if you don't have as much time, it's a good one to say. It's one that you can do pretty quickly, but I like it just because it is about divine mercy, and we all need mercy.
We all need mercy. You know, looking at my life, we all- and
Yeah.
Jesus gave it to us. No?
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
Yes. Mercy.
All right.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you much,
for
Tom.
that beautiful,
Do
beautiful
you
interview.
li-